Hey guys, this is TallestSilver, and I wanted to try my hand at ASMR. I've always enjoyed ASMR videos, and by always I mean for the past couple of years, and I thought I would try to give back to the community. So this is gonna be a soft-spoken, not quite whispering little video about a book I recently got a couple months ago, and it's called, surprise surprise, The Phantom of the Opera. And I thought I would do a little review of it and try to make you relax, maybe go to sleep. So sit back, lay down, maybe close your eyes if you want to, or you can watch the video as I review this book. Now this is a children's book of The Phantom of the Opera. The original book is by Gaston Leroux, and the first English translations were in 1911. Originally, it was written in French, and it's a typical gothic horror, gothic romance story of basically Beauty and the Beast. Ugly Frenchman tries to win love through song, but unlike Beauty and the Beast, it doesn't go very well for our ugly Frenchman. So let me read you the back synopsis. Since starting ballet classes at the Paris Opera, Meg explored every nook and cranny of the majestic, mysterious building. Places where she is allowed to go, and places where she isn't. In one of these forbidden passages, she meets the Phantom of the Opera, a mysterious figure who is sobbing his heart out. He is in love with Christine, an opera singer, but she is about to marry her fiancé, Raoul. One evening, Christine mysteriously disappears. Meg is hot on the trail. So this book follows Meg Giry, one of the ballerinas of the opera house. In the original book, Meg is probably an older teenager. It's not explicitly stated, but she is younger, but she is not a child. So here we follow little Meg and her exploits. And this book also comes with a CD. And the authors of this particular version narrate. And they also happen to have their own songs, which I'll get to. It's a man and a woman, and evidently this book is based off of the original novel, as I said, but it's Catherine Washburn had adapted it, and the music is by Mark Dimay, and I hope I pronounced that right. So they are our narrators, and they're interchangeable back and forth, depending on what character is talking. Now, my favorite part of this book would be the illustrations. Helene Durit, I probably butchered her name, does beautiful vector art of the illustrations. So lots of bold colors and no outlines. I find it very interesting. The book has a lot of embossing. It's very flat. It's like faux embossing. You can see how shiny the letters are. It's very darling, as you can see. The use of negative space, I think, is my favorite part of this book. And it's cleverly separated, as they call them, into acts, which is very evocative of being on stage in an opera or a play or even a musical. And Meg has a little theme that carries throughout the narration of the story. You don't need to listen to the CD, but it's very cute, and the authors do a good job of narrating, although at times it can be a little melodramatic. As you can see, the negative space is very interesting. There's lots of shapes that it uses on each page. There's a really nice sense of dynamic stillness in each picture. Often they highlight a particular character as if they had a spotlight. And this character is interesting because he's not quite explored in any version, and I think he's supposed to be a stand-in Persian who is from Persia, and he's a detective police officer in the original novel and the 1925 version starring Lon Chaney. But in this book, he's kind of a doorman who's always stopping Meg. So here's little Meg, and whenever she tries to wander, he tends to stop her. And now we're introduced to Christine. So this is Christine. As she's lamenting on what she should do. Talking to seemingly no one. And little Meg is spying on her. And now we see Eric, the Phantom. And again, we have this spotlight effect. But for Eric, it's in reverse. Because he thrives in silhouette and in shadows. And they have a little song for Eric. How he's lamenting and he's sad and lonely, and did mention how he cries, which is very true to the Phantom. He's not very happy. In this page, Christine and Raoul are on the Parisian Opera House roof, planning to escape, and Eric, looming in the shadows, overhears them. What I think is interesting about this page is that Christine is almost completely in silhouette, similar to Eric, where Raoul, you can see his contrasting colors. So I think that was a very interesting artistic choice to make. And this scene is one of my favorites because it never actually happens in any version of Phantom. Little Meg happens upon the Phantom. And it's in effect very similar to Peter Pan, where Wendy Darling sees Peter for the first time. It's very evocative of, boy, why are you crying? Because Meg meets Eric while he's crying in the shadows of how Christine is going to leave and abandon him. And if it wasn't evident that this was for kids, Meg offers Eric a piece of candy. It's very sweet. It's a very cute little scene. Again, we see that spotlight, but this one is more evident because it's a literal spotlight on the diva La Carlotta. Ooh. And this is where she allegedly sounds like a toad. In this version, actual toads come out of her mouth. It's very silly. And here we reach Act 3. So now we see Christine singing. And this part is very similar to the musical, and even Christine's dress looks like her Act 2 dress, commonly referred to as the wishing gown. And in this scene, Christine is singing, but that chandelier is very precarious. And what's nice about this page is the framing is of a curtain. So now, Meg is hiding away, and she finds the underground lake that's underneath the opera house. And in fact, there is an underground lake in the Parisian Opera House. And again, we see that spotlight highlighting where the light is and emphasizing all the shadows. And there's that doorman again, whom I'm pretty sure is the Daroga. Another thing that's very sweet about this book is in the original novel and in the movie, Eric the Phantom often refers to a siren in the lake. And it could be of his ramblings, or he is the siren. There's lots of interpretation. In this story, she's actually a mermaid, and she likes little Meg, and so she helps her swim across the water and get to the house on the lake, which is where the Phantom stays. And there's a very nice line that I like. Meg asks the siren, "Is it true that he's very ugly?" And she responds, "He is ugly to those who do not know how to look at him." And I think that is my favorite line in this whole book. And I think it's very true. So Meg is very interested because Eric has stolen Christine off of the stage. And they need to know what has happened. And again, we see this almost reverse spotlight. It's a storm brewing as Eric pounds away on the piano keys. And another chandelier. And again, we see more spotlights. And all's well that ends well. throughout Meg's journey, her mother has been looking for her, Madame Giry. And Christine and Raoul are safe. And here, the gendarme, the police officers, help Meg come out of the many, many floors of the Parisian Opera House. And she's rescued to safety as Raoul and Christine are safe, away from the phantom. Then they have a little epilogue, mostly a song. And it talks about how Christine can still be here singing in the very cold countries, and that there is a beautiful prima ballerina now dancing on the stage, who happens to be that little Meg Giry. And that's the end of the book. Now this book is very sweet and very cute. And I would recommend it for any child who likes the Phantom of the Opera, either the musical or any stories that they've heard. This is much more palatable of a story than the original novel or any other version for a little kid. But the music is something else. It's very interesting, to put it mildly. They've taken some standard piano pieces and put lyrics over them. And unfortunately, the lyrics don't quite match the time of the music. Everything is just a little bit off. And although sweet, it doesn't flow very well. And the lyrics can be a little hokey. But, as I pointed out, there are some things that I really enjoy about this book. And I particularly love the art. And the front covers themselves are very matte, with shining gold stars. So overall, I encourage anyone who enjoys The Phantom of the Opera to get this book, particularly if they want to share it with somebody who's younger than the age of 10. But I really like it, and I hope you have enjoyed this video as well. Until next